Greetings, YouTube. I was having a conversation the other day with a commenter on my channel, a Muslim gentleman. I'd give you the name of his channel, but it was a single consonant repeated, so it can't really be said out loud. It was more a visual representation of typography mostly. Um, and he'd asked about my pentacle, and then it led to a discussion about my religious background and religious and spiritual belief system. And I felt a little bad, but I have this pre-written response to this question. I get it a lot, so I just kind of dump this thing, cut and paste, kind of explain it all. It's just, hi kitten. Um, and He did ask about why I have such a negative opinion of organized religion, and I explained that I feel that organized religion is one of the foundation stones of social conservatism and the patriarchy. It's just a negative entity, and it does nothing to improve our species or make life easier for people. It is a tool of oppression and repression. And I thought about the conversation we had. It was 6 or 7 exchanges, and I think it kind of I distilled it down to the concept in my head of don't surrender your spirit to some hierarchy. You are the only spiritual entity you need. It's you and your gods. In the case of this commenter, his God, Allah. That's all you need. Now, if you want to read books as inspiration, or you want to listen to someone speak about these topics as inspiration, go for it. Life is too short for us to learn everything on our own. We shouldn't have to reinvent the wheel. So it is quite possible for someone else to say something which will lend you aid in your spiritual journey through life. Okay? I got no problem with that. The problem I have is when people surrender their spiritual entity, who they are, their spirit is, to someone else's control. When they give that up. Now, I know there are going to be people that say, well, what about the spiritual experience of coming together and having something happen as a group? And that is very powerful. I don't disagree with the fact that's a powerful experience. I have never really experienced it on a spiritual level in the sense of a religious experience. I have experienced it through the Society for Creative Anachronism when it's just a group of people all coming together for the same reason. So yeah, I get it. And if you add in the spiritual aspect to it, it's very powerful. But it's also very dangerous. Because in pursuit of that spiritual group connection, of almost that spiritual high that you can get from that experience, you run the risk of losing who you are. And don't do that. Don't give up who you are to someone else's control. Not when it comes to spiritual experiences, not when it comes to friendships, not when it comes to romantic or sexual relationships. Don't give up who you are to somebody else. Remain true to yourself. Compassion for yourself before others, because when we don't have that, then we're not going to get very far. There isn't a deep point on this video. It's just my thoughts on this topic. And apparently, Mandarin's interested in being in the video. I see it so often. People following someone else's teachings blindly, without thought, without consideration. The anti-intellectualism that often accompanies the social conservatism. And it's heartbreaking to see people do that to themselves. Turn their back on science and reason because some spiritual leader says that if you pursue those avenues of thought, you will somehow lose your spiritual connection to the world. And that's bull. Understanding the world around you is a many-faceted process. It is not just through your spiritual and religious experiences that you're going to understand the world, nor is it just through the pursuit of knowledge and science. You need to meld these things within yourself until you find who you are. So don't surrender your spirit to somebody else, folks. It's your spirit. You control it.